A very good afternoon to all the students attending the online lecture for second year BBA for the subject Human Resource Management. In the previous lecture, we had already discussed about the syllabus and the topics covered therein for Human Resource Management Semester 3. Today, I would begin with the explanation of the very first unit, that is HRM. Now, I hope that you already had gone through the previous video where I had very clearly given you an idea, an overview about this subject, HRM, along with the syllabus content in it. We not only discussed all the units to be covered, but also each and every topic that you shall be studying in every unit. As you know, there are 4 units covering a weightage of 25% each. Today, we shall be beginning with the very first unit, that is Human Resource Management. Now, before I begin with the chapter or before I begin with the explanation of HRM, I would like to ask you a very simple question. Let us begin with the basics first. In HRM, as you know, R stands for a resource. So think about, what would you call a resource? The answer simply that you shall get is resource is something that is beneficial or that is useful to you in some or the other manner. Something that helps us produce something, make something, or gives us some sort of benefit, makes our task easy, becomes a resource for us. To state some examples, it could be merely a fan, it could be a tube light, it could be a calculator, it could be a computer, and whatnot. There are a number of resources that you see everywhere. It can be a natural resource that is provided to us by nature. The resources can also be man-made resources that are given to us or made by man. There could also be some physical resources that one can see, one can touch. Lastly, there can also be financial resources, to name money. But here in this unit, specifically, we are concentrated on one resource, that is HR, human resource. The question that comes to your mind is, why human resource given more importance, or why are we focused more on HR rather than other resources in an organization? So I shall give you a very simple example for this. An organization may have expensive machineries for production. It may have the latest technology to use. It may have adequate raw materials to further the production. But if an organization fails to have skilled and efficient human resources, then all the other resources such as machinery, land, capital, raw materials comes to a waste. The other resources would be just left futile, and it would be in vain if an organization does not have a skilled and efficient HR. So when we talk about human resources, they are also considered to be the most valuable asset any organization can have. Generally, it is said that human resources don't form a part of the asset side of a balance sheet, but still they are the most valuable asset for any business organization. We see in these days of globalization, everything can be imported. Duplication of almost every resource is now possible. You can import the best possible machinery, the best possible material, technology from any part of the world. Probably human resource is the only resource whose duplication is not possible. So to achieve a competitive edge in the market, we need to have the most skilled and efficient human resource. So to begin with, the first topic for today, we shall now understand the definition of HR. When I say human resource, we are talking about each and every person involved in an organization. It could be a lower level employee, it could be a middle level manager, or it could be a top level authority. Every person who is working in an organization comprises in the HR of the enterprise. Lastly, I would also mention that when we talk about human resource, it comprises of the skills, the abilities, the knowledge, the talent, the aptitude that these people comprise. So let us read a definition for human resource. The term human resource means the total knowledge, skills, creative abilities, talents, aptitude of an organization's workforce, as well as the value, attitudes, beliefs of the individuals involved. So, as I said, every individual in an organization and their knowledge, skills, talents comprised together forms the human resource of an enterprise. I'll give you a few seconds. Please go through the definition and make it very clear. So by now, you might be clear as to what is human resource and what is comprised in it. Moving to the second question for today's lecture, it is the name of the unit itself. As to what do you mean by human resource management? Again, let us break up some parts. By now, you know what is a resource. You also know what is human resource. So let us first talk about management. Being BBA students, you might have already heard about what is management. You already know that management is an art, it is a science of getting the things done through the efforts of others. Fine. It also comprises of some managerial functions. You may have heard about planning, you may have heard about organizing, recruiting, staffing, directing, controlling, and whatnot. So if we merge two things together, that is human resource and management, combined together, it becomes HRM, that is human resource management. So if I give you a very simple definition, managing the human resources in an organization is nothing but human resource management. We need to apply the managerial principles onto the human resources. In other words, it is also known as people management. You all might be familiar that almost every organization now has a separate department known as the human resource department. Also, there are managers who are managing the human resources known as human resource managers. So now the question comes to our mind that if we are the human resource managers and we have to perform human resource management, what is actually that we are doing in HRM? So here begins the concept of human resource management. As a human resource manager, you have to work for acquiring the human resources. When I say acquiring, we need to recruit the adequate number of human resources. We need to work for the maintaining of human resources. That is, when human resource enter in your organization, you have to maintain them. You have to retain them. Thereafter, you also have to think about the development of their skills. When an employee joins in your organization, his skills have to be developed. He needs to be given adequate training. Lastly, you need to properly manage and utilize the human resource so that the objectives are achieved. Now, please pay your keen attention. When I say objectives to be achieved, HRM focuses on two different objectives. One, that is the objective of the organization, and the other, that is objective of an individual employee. So I repeat again, when I say HRM, it is management of human resources. Management of human resources means As a manager, we need to acquire the resources, we need to maintain the human resources, we need to develop their skills, we need to properly utilize and manage them so that the objectives of not only the organization but also the individual is achieved. I hope I was clear to you up till now. If you still have any doubt, please go through the definition of human resource management that you need to learn. It is defined as a process of accomplishing the organizational objectives by acquiring. When we say acquire, we need to recruit the human resource. Retaining, that means you have to maintain the human resource. It could also be terminating. For example, if human resources don't work properly in your organization, they don't maintain proper discipline, they create conflicts, they don't obey the rules and orders, they can be terminated as well. You need to work for development of the skills and properly using the human resources in an organization. Moving further, in the concept of human resource management, we will also try and study few characteristics of human resource management so that it gives you more idea on HRM. And lastly, we would be also doing the functions of human resource management. Moving on to the characteristics, point number 1 and point number 2 that you can see, human resource management is considered to be a modern approach. And its scope is quite wider too. Because when we are considering the human resource management, we are not only concerned with the organizational goals, but I, as a manager, will pay equal justice to the personal goals of an employee as well. Moreover, once an employee enters your organization, the work of a manager does not stop. As a manager, I should also try and develop the skills of the employees by giving them proper training. So it is a modern and it is a wider approach. Point number 3, HRM treats human being as a valuable asset of the company. As I said, human beings are considered to be the most valuable asset of any business enterprise. Because if you have skilled and efficient workers, then and only then can your enterprise succeed and survive in a competitive market. Point number 4, it is employee oriented, it is people oriented. That is what you can say. It is managing the people, it is working for the needs of the employees, it is working for the development of skills of the employees. So it is employee oriented. Number 5, you already know that it considers employees' welfare and development activities. As a human resource manager, I need to also concentrate on the welfare of employees. When I say welfare, we need to think about giving them proper working conditions. It could be family welfare, it could be health and safety benefits that are given. Ultimately, their skills have to be developed. Point number 6, it is proactive in nature. Human resource management is proactive in the sense it tries to solve the problem pertaining to employees before they actually occur. It is not reactive in nature. It will try to take the precautions well in advance so that the problems are not faced in future. Point number 7, human resource management considers the quality of work life of employees. When I say quality of work life, it is to be considered that employees are given proper and safe working conditions. They are given proper refreshment and recreation facilities. It could also be some kind of facilities given for their family members. So the quality of work life needs to be improved. Number 8, it believes in wholeness. As I said, human resource management is not just organizational oriented. We are not just concerned with the objectives of organization, but we are concerned with the goals of individual employee as well. So both combined together forms the crux of HRM. That is why we can say HRM believes in wholeness. Point number 9, a good point, that HRM is done by every officer. I cannot just say that HRM is performed by one manager or there is a specialist who performs HRM in an organization. HRM needs to be performed by each and every manager, each and every officer in a business enterprise. Point number 10, HRM is not only a paperwork. It is not something that just remains on paper. It is not a form of record keeping. One needs to even work for the implementation of all what is decided under the purview of human resource management. Lastly, of course, the primary objective shall be to achieve the goals of the company. We consider the goals of employee, but the ultimate goal of every organization will be that human resources should be managed in such a manner that company goals are achieved optimally. So I hope the characteristics of HRM might have given you, again, a good idea about the concept of human resource management. I would again give you a few seconds. Please go through the points of HRM that we have discussed. And thereafter, we begin also with the functions of human resource management. All right. We begin with the last topic for today's lecture, a very important topic, that is the functions of human resource management. Now, you should be clear that under Unit 1, Human Resource Management, we have talked about what do you mean by a human resource. We have talked about what do you mean by human resource management, its concept, its characteristics, and now we go to the functions of HRM. When I say functions, it can also be called as the scope of HRM, as to which are the things, which are the activities that a human resource department and a human resource manager has to perform. From the definition itself, you might have got an idea about the core HR functions. When I say core, the important or the prime functions of HR, you would say that it is acquiring the human resources. We have to maintain the human resources, that is, we have to retain them. And lastly, we have to develop their skills, that is, to train them. But there are a number of other functions also that one needs to pay attention while studying human resource management. So HRM occupies an important place in the organization of an enterprise, but the functions undertaken by the Department of HRM, that is Human Resource Department, depends on the nature and the size of business enterprise. A business may be of several types. It could be a small scale business, it could be a large sized business, it could be a sole proprietorship, it could be a partnership, or it could be a joint stock company altogether. Whatever the nature and the size of business is, will affect the functions of human resource management. So the functions of HRM can be divided in the following categories that you can see. There are some 10 functions that you need to pay attention. We shall be discussing them one by one. The first function that you see on the slide is recruitment, selection, and appointment. When I began with the definition of HRM, I told you that it begins with acquiring of human resources. When I say acquiring, it is nothing but the first point. being recruiting, selecting, and appointing the human resources. But there is a difference between recruitment also and selection. Before a manager actually recruits or selects his employees, he has to understand the human resource requirement. He has to estimate as to how many employees or how much manpower is required by the business enterprise. It could be 10 employees, it could be 15 employees, etc. After having deciding the requirement and after having estimated the manpower requirement, then it has to work for recruitment and selection of workers. When I say recruitment, it is a scientific recruitment. He has to work for recruiting the right person for the right job at the right time. Recruitment can be done through number of sources, could be the internal sources, could be the external sources. Also, it may happen that you may have invited some 100, 200 people for recruitment, but all cannot be selected. So based on the job specification, based on the job requirements, people would be selected out of those who have come for recruitment. Ultimately, those employees who have been selected will be appointed in the business enterprise. So as a human resource manager, he needs to maintain a record of the prospective employees, of the present employees, and also the past employees. When I say present employees, they are those who are working in organization already. But when I say prospective, they could be those people who can be employed in the organization in the future to come. So as a manager, when he's working for recruitment, selection, and appointment, he has to maintain a record for the same. Moving to point number 2, as a human resource manager, one needs to work also for the promotion, demotion, transfer, also termination of the human resources. Now, all might be familiar with the words promotion and demotion. When Mr. X is placed from a lower level job to a higher level job, where he is given more amount of responsibilities, more challenges, and he gets a higher job, it means he's promoted to that job. It is promotion. But at the same time, when Mr. X is not working properly or due to any other reason, he may also be shifted downwards from a higher to a lower job position. That would be demotion. Coming to transfer, it may also happen that human resources are transferred from one job to another job, from one department to another department. And lastly, if they don't work as per the rules and the regulations of the organization, they don't maintain good discipline, they don't achieve the objectives, they can also be terminated. So as a human resource manager, I need to frame the policies, I need to frame the rules for promotion, demotion, transfer, and termination. Thereby, also, I need to maintain a record for the same. Moving to the third point, the third function of HRM, it is training. The definition of HRM already told that it is acquiring, maintaining, and developing the employees. When I say development, development is nothing but training the employees. And when I say training, training is not only given to the lower level employees, but it can also be given to the higher level executives. The next question is, why should we train? Why not just recruit people who are already trained and who are already skilled? So let me answer this question, that we live in an environment that is constantly changing. We have number of forces that keep on changing without our control. So we need to keep our human resource updated with those changes. They need not get outdated from the system. So definitely, as a human resource manager, we need to decide the different programs for training and executive development. Training can be given on the job, can be given off the job. So all these methods and programs has to be decided and planned by the human resource manager. Coming to the fourth function of HRM, it is to decide about wages and the other incentives. Now, before I go on to the point of deciding wages or compensation, I would like to explain you few terms. Have you heard about something known as job analysis, job description, and job evaluation? I repeat, job analysis, job description or specification, and job evaluation. Now, when I say job analysis, as a human resource manager, we need to analyze each and every job. We need to keep complete information about every job. We also need to do job description or specification, where I need to mention what are the things that have to be performed in a given job. Ultimately, we have to do job evaluation. Job evaluation meaning to say we need to evaluate the worth of the job. I'll give you a very simple example. The job of a guard is different. That is, a watchman's job is different. Job of a teacher is different. Job of a doctor is different, and so on. Based on the job's evaluation, based on the worth of the job, the wages have to be decided. So human resource manager has also to work for the determination of the policies of wage payments. Wage payments could be based on the time wage system, could be a piece wage system, etc. He also has to decide about the policies for different incentives. When I say incentives, they are something given over and above the wages. Incentives could be a bonus. It could be any form of commission that is given to the employees for fulfilling some targets. It could be any kind of a perk or a fringe benefit given to them. Maybe there is an accident compensation fund created for the employees. There are some benefits given to their family members, some kind of insurance facilities, health benefits, or retirement benefits, etc. So all comprised together becomes the fourth function, that is wages and other incentives. Coming to the fifth one, service activities. As a human resource manager, I also have to decide about different facilities or services that I can offer to the employees. It could be a simple service of relaxation or recreation. It could be a housing facility that is given to the workers, could be facilities for savings and investment of the money of employees, medical facilities given for the employees and for the family, etc. So even those activities and those facilities have to be decided in this function. Please go through the 5 functions up till now that we have discussed. As I said, you need to first work for the acquirement of the resources. Thereby, you will decide for their promotions, demotions. You will develop the skills by training. Based on their job evaluation, you will decide the amount of wages to be paid. And you would also work for the quality of life that is given by the service activities. I hope you are clear with the points. We move to the next part, the next 5 functions of human resource management. Point number 6 that you see, it is collective bargaining and employees representation. When I talk about the function of human resource manager, he also at times will have to negotiate with the employees. The word bargaining that you see is nothing but negotiation, discussion to be done with the employees. By discussion and by negotiation, so employees can come up with some complaints, with some kind of grievances in their mind. They want their needs to be satisfied. And when such a situation comes up, as a human resource manager, we need to discuss the employees' grievances and the complaints. We also need to try and solve the same. Ultimately, there has to be a good coordination and cooperation between the employees and the employers. You might be aware about a word that is trade union. So when an organization has its trade union, when the employees have formed a trade union, they may represent their complaints collectively. But as a human resource manager, I need to decide as to how will I handle those complaints and how will I negotiate with the same. Coming to the seventh function, it is career planning of human resource management. Now, as I said, human resource management deals with development of skills as well. We also pay attention to the career of the employee. His career is also equally important as the objectives of an organization. So as a manager, we can give guidance to the employees for their career. We can give them information about how he can develop in the career, how he can go to higher positions in the organization, etc. Number 8, development of personnel. When I say personnel, it is nothing but human resource and the employees of the organization. So as a human resource manager, we may have to also work for the development of the human resources. When I say development, it could be done by giving them proper training. By proper training, their skills are developed and they perform their job in an even better manner. Some people believe that training is expensive and its benefits are only to the employees. But actually speaking, training gives benefits mutually to both the organization as well as the employee. An organization having a trained workforce definitely will finish the work at a faster time and will succeed also in a competitive environment. Coming to the ninth function, it is development of quality of work life. Now, when I say quality of work life, we are talking about the work life of the employees. You need to give them good and healthy and safe working conditions. And when we talk about development of work life, we also need to work for the job enrichment and job expansion. If an employee is doing a very basic job, a very monotonous job, a boring task every day when he comes to the organization, ultimately he will become dull and he would not work with full enthusiasm. But when his job is enriched, he is given new tasks and new responsibilities to perform every day. He will definitely be more motivated towards his job. Also, when I talk about the work life, a human resource manager can also try to make the work environment stress-free. The employees should not be working under the burden of stress. The workplace needs to be made quite comfortable. And point number 10, as a human resource manager, we also have to function for development of company culture. When I say company culture, we need to develop an environment where employees show respect towards the company's values, company's rules, regulations, and thereby raising the prestige of the company. It should not happen that the employees are not following the orders given by the superiors. If there is a rule set up in an organization, an employee has to follow the same so as to maintain that culture, maintain the discipline in the organization. So this was all for the functions of human resource management. I can say that there are a number of other functions that a manager already performs, but those functions which are specifically designed to be performed by the HRD, that is Human Resource Department, are these functions that you have understood today. Please go through the points once more. So to sum up today's lecture, I can say that we have studied about the first unit, human resource management. We have begun with the discussion of what do you mean by human resource? What do you mean by human resource management? The concept of human resource management, its characteristics. And lastly, we have also studied about the functions of human resource management. I hope the lecture was useful to you and you were able to understand the topics covered in this lecture. If you still have any doubts, you can give those doubts, you can comment the doubts in the Google Classroom for your specific class, and I shall be answering those doubts at the earliest. We will be meeting soon in the next online lecture where we would be going further with the same unit 1 of human resource management. Thank you very much for the day. Keep learning.